Hi, I'm Leslie. I'm the Rebel Yankee Girl. I'm going to be showing you how to make my family's favorite casserole. And before you go, ooh, because you're going to say ooh, let me assure you, I had the same reaction the first time that I ever heard of this casserole. My husband and I were dating about 44 years ago, and my mother-in-law said, hey, do you want to come and eat dinner with us? And I said, yeah, that'd be great. She says, we're having chili frank casserole. And I thought, okay, I like chili. I like hot dogs. I didn't know what it was, but I thought, I'll try it. But when I got there and I saw the casserole, I was leery, to say the least. So my husband loves this casserole. It's one of his favorites, and it has some really strange ingredients. First of all, you're going to need a package of hot dogs. Doesn't matter what kind you use. This is what I have today, so that's what we're using. You're going to need ketchup. Whatever brand of ketchup you like, use that. This is what I have, so that's what we're using. Now, the only thing about the chili is it doesn't matter which brand you use. We happen to like this brand, but it needs to be the type of chili that doesn't have beans in it. You're also going to need one recipe of rice, which I've shown you how to cook earlier. And you're going to need butter and a casserole dish. I use a round one. I like one that's about 4 inches deep. That really usually works the best. You can use clear. You can use this is the Cornell French White. I just happen to have a collection of that I love. And then some cheese to go on the top as well. So the first thing that I do is I get my rice going on the stove, and that's what I have going right now. And then secondly, I'm going to chop up my hot dogs. Now, if you have little kids, you're going to want to make these hot dogs very small. And when I say that, I will cut a hot dog lengthwise like this. And then I will cut it lengthwise again after I roll it over. So now I have 4 pieces to my hot dog. And I will cut those 4 pieces into very small pieces. They're very tiny. That way a toddler can pick this up with their hand and eat it, but they're not going to choke on it. Hot dogs can choke a child very easily, so you want to make sure that you chop them up little like this if you've got little kids, okay? Don't want anybody choking because of hot dogs that weren't chopped up small enough. But if you've got grown kids that are big enough to eat the diameter of a regular hot dog, just make slices. You don't want them too thick. I make them about like that. Can you tell? The light in here is not great today. And you're just going to do the whole pack and get them all chopped up into a nice edible size. And you want them even so that they cook evenly too. You don't want some that are big and don't get warmed up all the way through, because hot dogs are fully cooked anyway. You don't have to worry about that, but you do want them warmed thoroughly. So go ahead and chop those up. I find that if my hot dogs aren't thawed out all the way, that's fine too. You just, because they're going to get pretty warm in this, in the heating up process. Anyway, you're going to get everything chopped up like this, and then we're going to start building the casserole. All right, now we can start building our casserole because the rice is done. Before I put anything in here, I'm going to grease mine with some butter, and I use real butter. I don't like margarine. I just use real butter. Come up the sides of your pan, do the whole bottom, and get that well coated. Now I'm just going to take my rice And I'm going to dump it out. Let's see if you can see this. I'm new to this, so getting the angle where you can see me working is going to be a little bit of a challenge for me for a little bit. Let me turn this just a little bit this way. Now you can see a little better. Anyway, you can see that all that rice is now in my casserole dish. And you're just going to fiddle around with it until you get it all in there. Now, this is going to be the weird part. You're going to take your ketchup, shake it up, because you don't want what we Gen Xers call bleemis, a word we learned from Nickelodeon, in your casserole. So you're just going to, I'd say, use about half a cup to coat the top of that rice. You want it coated really well. You don't want it deep. You just want it covering the top. And I take my spoon and just kind of smear it around. It's not super thick. It's just, like I said, enough to cover the rice. My girls, I think they like it a little thicker on theirs. I don't like mine that thick. So now we have our rice, and that's what it looks like. Now we're going to take our chopped up hot dogs, and we're just going to layer them across the top. Watch out, they will go flying. And you will have them everywhere. Alright, the next thing that we're doing is our chili. And I just use a can opener and open it. And I do have a rubber spatula that I love for this to get it out of the can. Can be a real challenge with just a spoon. So like this to get my stuff out of my cans. You know, like sweetened condensed milk is so hard to get out of the can. And sometimes this chili can be hard to get out of the can. So I want all of it in my casserole. And you're just going to spread the chili over the top of the hot dogs. Get it as even as you can. Cover every hot dog. You're going to see some poking up out of the top, and that's okay. They're going to be like that. So this is what the top of it's going to look like. I know, not the most appetizing looking casserole, but I promise you, it's so good. Now, I took medium cheddar cheese the other day and grated up a block of it. We didn't use it all. And so I'm going to put some of it on the top of my casserole here, about a cup. You can use more, you can use less, but I highly recommend putting it on here. It's just a delicious addition to the casserole. Now, it looks a little better. Let me get it in the oven at 350, and I let it bake until I see little bubbles coming up. And that's what you want. You want to see the little bubbles coming up. So let me get it in the oven, and I'll be back when I get it out. Okay, we have a finished chili frank casserole. I'm going to dip it up here. All right, we finished our chili frank casserole, cooking it, and the sides that go with it. It's very cheesy. Okay, so that is what it's going to look like there. And then add some green beans to the plate. And these little potato rolls, we really like. So that's what you're gonna end up with. It's a very inexpensive meal. If you're on a budget, it's budget friendly for sure, but it's also gonna fill your tummy. I hope that you'll come back and cook with me again.